my name is Jordan and I wanted to give you a little bit more information on personal injury protection coverage when it comes to your auto insurance policy. So personal injury protection, also known as PIP, PIP, MedPay, medical payments, it's got a bunch of different names depending on the state and location that you're in. So basically it's going to be pretty much the same thing no matter which state. Some states have just very different or various different coverages. It's not going to be extremely different, but some of them do vary depending on the state. So definitely check your particular state to make sure that the coverages are going to be the same, is what I'm referring to. So when it comes to personal injury protection, this is something that covers not only you, but also your passengers. So it's a really great coverage to have on your auto insurance policy because it is covering per person. So if you have $5,000 in coverage or $25,000, $100,000 in coverage, that does cover not just you, but each person in the vehicle. So if someone was injured, whether it's a minor injury or a major injury, they each are able to get that amount of coverage. So if you select your limit to be $10,000, every person in the vehicle can get up to $10,000 for their injury. So of course, we never want anything bad to happen when it comes to driving or accidents, but that is 100% the reason why we have insurance. So other than liability and having a state requirement, the personal injury coverage does cover you regardless of who's at fault. So even if you're at fault, you'll still have medical coverage, injury coverage. It does cover more than just medical in most states. Again, check with your state to make sure. But typically it covers medical. It'll also cover dental, funeral expenses, and also in a lot of states, wages lost. So if you're injured for a period of time and not able to work, say for a month or 6 months or whatever it is, that amount of coverage that you have can also cover those wages lost. So I always recommend to have a minimum of $10,000 in personal injury protection coverage. Now, not all states will cover up to that amount. So some states cover, a few thousand or, 10,000 at the most, but you can typically always add on additional personal injury protection coverage if you are wanting more coverage. So that's definitely an option for you. Now, when it comes to personal injury, there's a lot of things that people don't really think about. So if you have health insurance, it's a common misconception that you don't need personal injury protection coverage on your auto policy because you already have health insurance. What a lot of people don't know though is that your health insurance may deny a claim just for the sole base that it's from an auto accident. And that's something that they feel that your auto insurance policy should cover. So that can be a really difficult spot to be in if your health insurance doesn't want to cover that injury. If it's something traumatic like you have your spleen burst or whatever the case may be, if something big happened, then that can be a huge expense. So even if it's something like a broken arm or just bruises, that's if you're checked out at a hospital or taken by ambulance or anything like that, it can definitely add up price-wise. So I always recommend have more coverage. So the great thing about personal injury protection, other than it covering per person, is it also can cover that deductible. So say your health insurance is going to cover the injury, but you have a $3,000 deductible to meet for the family, or $1,500 per person, whatever your deductible might be, because in most cases, most people will have a deductible unless you're very, very lucky and for some reason you don't. But your personal injury protection coverage can also pay that deductible. So if it's, say you get an accident in January, you haven't yet met your deductible for the year, the personal injury coverage can pay that deductible for you or reimburse you for that deductible, so that way you don't have to come out of pocket for that amount. Then your health insurance can take care of the rest, or you continue to, submit the information to your auto insurance for that coverage if you've got more coverage there. So usually I recommend to go with as much coverage as you possibly can afford when it comes to personal injury, because most people don't have an extra $100,000, $200,000 lying around if they're injured to cover wages lost or medical payments. So it definitely is important to have as much coverage as you possibly can. So just depending on your state. Again, some states cover very minimally and others cover much more significantly as far as the personal injury coverage goes, but you can typically always add on additional coverage if you're wanting more. So I recommend to have at least 10,000 in coverage, if not 25 or 50,000 or more if you can afford it. Oftentimes it's merely dollars difference or even cents difference. I've seen it from, 5,000 in coverage to 50,000 might be $1 or $2 more per month, which is extremely reasonable, and does not have to come out of pocket for $50,000 in injuries or, damages to your body. That's huge. So I would absolutely pay a couple dollars more a month to cover more for injuries. So that's it for today on personal injury protection. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks. Have a great day, guys.